another episode. My name is Travis. I am joined, as always, by my fantastic co hosts, Eric, Ryan, and James. This week, we're going to be discussing board games.
Woo!
Which, yeah, is definitely going to be Ryan's niche. He's been roaring to go on this one for days. It is good to be back. We did have a couple little scheduling hiccups happen at the beginning of the month. Eric had some VA appointments. Our wrestling guests that we normally get on have had some fairly serious life emergencies, so we're glad things are getting settled for them. We hope everything, of course, gets better. Next week, we will be doing our WrestleMania recap episode because it is, in fact, WrestleMania weekend this weekend. So I am, as always, repping your boy LA Knight. He's got a match at WrestleMania again, which makes it every year since his move to the main roster. I think that he has had a spot at WrestleMania, if not, ever really getting any main event pushes, which is sad, but it's okay. So with that, we'll get into our nerdy news. Who wants to go first?
I'll jump in first. Mine's going to focus primarily on movies and television because I've been kind of blown away with some of the stuff we got coming up. Originally, I was going to focus on Superman Day coming up in just a couple days, which I'm pretty excited about. But then
not nearly as important as WrestleMania weekend.
Right. But we did finally have Mel Brooks come in and drop a release date and title for Spaceballs 2, which I'm kind of excited about. So Spaceballs 2 is slotted for May of 2027 and is going to go under the title Spaceballs 2, The Schwartz Awakens, which when I first heard about this, Mel Brooks told me it was Spaceballs 2, the new one, and I liked that better, but Schwartz Awakens is fine.
I like the original title he was going to go with, which was The Hunt for More Money.
Yeah, The Hunt for More Money. I'm really excited about that one. I think it's going to be cool. The other part of that is going to get into the TV side. This has been a wild month for TV, and we are, 16 days in? We have had Maul, Shadow Lord drop on Disney+, new Invincible, new The Boys, Stranger Things, Tales from 85. It's looking like April is going to be an insane month for hit television, and I'm kind of here for it. I know out of all of those, Maul Shadow Lord is one that I'm chomping at the bit to get into. I haven't got to touch it yet, but I'm chomping at the bit. And then last in our movies and television that I had lined up was going to be the new footage, the battle footage of Beastman that was showcased at CinemaCon for Masters of the Universe, which if you haven't seen that yet, you should go check it out. I'm actually getting more and more hype for Masters of the Universe. So
they did a lot of really good animated stuff with that for a little while. What's his name was running it? Silent Bob. Can't think of his Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith. Yeah.
He was doing a lot with it on Netflix. Pretty good, interesting, new concepts for He-Man. I liked it. I thought it was good. So I'm definitely excited for a live action movie. Huge fan of Dolph Lundgren when he played He-Man.
Who's not?
That
was not a huge fan of his performance as the Punisher, though. I'm going to be honest.
I liked him as Punisher, but he was great as He-Man with that weird magical thing he played to get home.
The hurdy-gurdy. I have no idea what it was. I've never seen that one.
So your go-to is to throw out hurdy-gurdy? All right.
It's my favorite ridiculous instrument name.
Yeah, fair enough.
I like it.
How can you not like the hurdy-gurdy? It's such a good name.
So my news is that the NHL playoffs are basically figured out. Montreal's in. We're playing Tampa, so that'll be a good series. So far, not Anaheim. Edmonton's going to play the Kings for the 5th year in a row. It's looking like right now. And then for something nerdy, I'm very excited for all the Warhammer stuff that's coming out, video game related.
Oh yeah,
Total War. And then, there's another one, Dawn of something. Both titles sound really good. One's coming out this year. One's coming out next year. Total War will be next year, if I'm not mistaken. So that's pretty exciting.
Dawn of War, is it? They released a new Dawn of War?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. But, and they got a lot of other projects that they're hinting at that they're going to do with Warhammer. And it's nice to see that Warhammer is going to be in multiple different genres. They're not just sticking to any particular one. So they got some RTS stuff, some shooters. So it's pretty cool to see Warhammer really going crazy in the video game environment. I know they love money there, but it is nice to see, and hopefully they continue to put out good games. Space Marine 2 was huge, and it's still a great game. I love playing it. I love all the different things I can do to my Space Marine. I can make them look like a lot of different things. So, and realistically, their DLC is not expensive. So
Not
I got to give
comparatively.
them that. Like, yeah, their DLC is not crazy expensive or anything like that. So it's nice, I got to say.
Yeah, I went ahead and had to look it up, and we got Total War Warhammer 40K, which we talked about previously on the show. And it does look like we got announcements for Space Marine 3, Bolt Gun 2, and then titles for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S for Dark Heresy and Dawn of War 4. I didn't even hear about most of these. I am so excited for a Dark Heresy game. If they can pull it off similar to the way Baldur's Gate did, I'd take my money now.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's pretty big. Warhammer's really blowing up. I don't know why it took so long, but it's a lot bigger. I feel like than it ever has been. Especially like if they get that Amazon show going, that'll be huge. But I'm getting nervous because they're taking so long to do it. I'm like,
2030.
I'm getting nervous. Yeah, like I'm just anytime a project takes this long to go, I get super nervous. Like Halo took forever, and then when they put it out, it was him. It was him without his suit on, being in love with a woman. That's not John, but whatever.
John was in love with a woman who's a digital construct, but
I mean, yeah, not a real one.
No, I think I agree with you.
What kind of guy would love a real woman? Oh man. You missed some, I think, some important CinemaCon news. There's some footage from Highlander.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Since that's a real movie that you guys didn't know about.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever,
Yeah.
dude. Like, come on.
I caught 2 years of flack for not knowing that there was lore in Warcraft because I never played the actual base game.
Also, Robert Eggers' Werewolf, which I'm pumped for. I like fucking all of his films.
Wait, what are we at?
Oh yeah.
What are we at? 9 minutes.
Yes,
It wasn't
it's
Eric
not
this
me. Victory.
Also, new season of Reincarnated as a Slime started now. It's
Ooh, I
pretty
missed
solid
that.
anime. Season 4, I think, is what it is. It's on now.
Nice.
Yeah, I think they've got 2 episodes out so far.
Lots of information, lots of trailers coming out from like Marvel stuff, Brand New Day stuff, the Punisher. The Punisher trailer for his special. Ooh, looks good. Can't wait.
Very good.
100%.
Very good trailer.
Yeah. So,
Actually, there was one other one that I wanted to bring up that Sony announced with an animated R-rated Bloodborne movie. Y'all heard anything about that?
Nope.
So it caught my attention whenever Jacksepticeye on YouTube put out a deal. Apparently, he's a producer on the film. Hasn't been able to tell us a whole lot about it, but apparently it's announced, and I think Bloodborne would be a fantastic animated film. So I'm pretty excited for that.
Can't be worse than their live action. We also skipped over 2 new trailers that have dropped, and that is for Mortal Kombat coming out in May and Street Fighter coming out in October, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's right.
The
I
new
just saw the
trailer for Street Fighter, not bad, dude. Not bad at all.
It looks okay.
I like Guile. He looks good.
I like the route that they're going with it. They're not trying to take it super serious, which I think is the right way to do a Street Fighter movie. So,
well, it's going to be like
I'm
whenever
hyped.
all the
Not
DC
hyped,
movies were coming out, right? The DC movies were coming out as these really dark, really gritty, kind of Batman-esque movies. And then here comes Aquaman with Jason Momoa with synthetic music and laser light shows. And I really think that if you take an approach for Street Fighter that is just not whimsical, but just kind of slapdash and not take it nearly as seriously, I think it's going to be a much better movie.
Well,
yeah, if they don't try to, like, if they go in making a movie that's going to be fun but not like take itself super serious, I think they're going to have the right formula for it. I think that's the right way to go. And so I'm excited. I'm definitely going to go see it when it comes out, just
Oh, yeah.
because everything I've heard and seen about it so far, I think they're taking the right approach. So
They have a good mix though of like known actors and unknown actors and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
That's really smart. Like Mortal Kombat did that too. So like the last Mortal Kombat movie, they had a good mix. So it's a smart play to do it.
Well, and I do
the
think-
best casting in the Mortal Kombat movie by far is still that dude they got to play
Kano?
Kano. That was so Kano's
Yeah, Kano was
actor was
perfect.
amazing. But we're getting a little long on our news because I still have to go through my yearly
Predictions.
WrestleMania picks before we get into board games. That way, I'm going to go through these fast. That way, we can get to Ryan's topic because I can see him sweating with excitement.
Woo! I am excited for tonight.
All right, so we're going to start off with Saturday's card. First match of the night, 6-man tag team match. Logan Paul, Austin Theory, IShowSpeed versus the Usos and LA Knight. Victory is going to go to IShowSpeed, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory. The Usos are going to turn on LA Knight, and that is going to be his story moving forward, is his rivalry with the Usos. He has had a big problem with the Anoa'i family in the past, and I think that's going to continue. The unsanctioned match is going to be between Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu. I see that going Jacob Fatu's way and not McIntyre's. Up to the main card, we've got the women's tag team fatal four-way match with Nia Jax, Last Legend, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, and the Bella Twins. I have that one going to Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, but this one really could go any direction, and I really hope that direction is not at the Bella Twins.
Oh, I was gonna say they're gonna get it. You know they are. Because didn't they just come back?
I don't care. They could have stayed gone forever. They weren't good when they were in. They're not good now. But I'll go on that rant next week. Women's Intercontinental Championship match, AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. Getting kind of one of the dream matches set up. I've got that one going to AJ Lee. I like her as the champion. It makes sense. Becky's had more than a few accolades, and I think it's time to bring that rivalry to a close. Up next, we have Seth Rollins versus Gunther. And this match, this was bad set up to begin with because neither guy is going to come out of this looking good if they lose at all. But I've got it going to Seth Rollins. Women's World Championship match, we've got Stephanie Vercaer versus Liv Morgan. I've got this one staying with Stephanie Vercaer. It makes more sense to keep her as the champion. And then our main event for the first night is the undisputed WWE Championship match with Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton and Pat McAfee. I got this one going to Cody. I don't see a good reason to put the belt on Orton right now. Cody Rhodes is still pretty hot, still pretty popular. I have a feeling it's going to stick with him.
It's going to Pat McAfee.
Pat the champ. I do like Pat McAfee.
Hell yeah.
He's my favorite WWE announcer.
I thought we had for the women's championship slated for Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley.
Sunday.
Oh,
Sunday's match. Don't jump ahead.
Yeah.
WrestleMania is 2 days now.
Apparently.
Yeah. WrestleMania is 2 days.
I was like, hey, wait a minute. I don't follow a lot of them, but I do follow Rhea Ripley.
Sunday's match card. First match is going to be Intercontinental Championship ladder match. We've got Penta, Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, also known as the Great Forehead, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio. I've got this one going to Javon Evans. New talent, just pulled up from NXT. This would be a good opportunity to give him a good main roster push, and he is extremely talented. Penta has not been stellar as a champion goes, just because it's tough to have luchadors as champions. But we'll see how they play this out. Next match, Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi. This is Oba 100%. Brock Lesnar at this stage of his career where he's putting people over more and more. 100% going Oba Femi's way. There's no reason to have Oba lose this match. Up next, United States Championship match. We got Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. I've got this one going to Trick Williams. So we'll just whoop that trick and then move on. It's such a weird saying. And then we have the return of the Demon Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio in a non-title match. I've got that one going to the Demon Finn Balor,
Heck yeah.
which makes sense. Bring that rivalry to a close. We have the women's WWE Championship match. Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. This is going to Jade. Sorry, Ryan.
No, I actually think I agree with you on this one. As
Yeah.
much as I'm going to support Ripley, but
Jade needs this win more than Rhea does.
Yeah.
And then we finally have CM Punk in the Sunday night unshared main event in his World Heavyweight Championship match versus Roman Reigns. I want to
Roman.
pick with my heart, but this is going to Roman.
yeah, I agree as well.
This is the way it goes. There's nobody going to come out of this match looking like roses. I think the backstage politics are going to play more into Roman's favor on that one. So CM Punk's about to drop that title, which is fine. But he is getting his main event match at WrestleMania. So congrats to CM Punk. It only took WWE a couple of decades to get you where you deserved to be a couple of decades ago. And so that's the
Ooh.
WrestleMania. That's the WrestleMania match card and my predictions. We'll see next week how poorly I did. Cheers.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
New Doomsday trailer just dropped, just so everybody knows.
Ooh,
And
Oh,
they
yeah,
have
I also-
that Gambit fighting Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
So Gambit's back. Gambit's doing some work. Normally I wouldn't interrupt or anything like that, but like
No, it's fine.
That's
You
some
don't
big
care about
news,
the things
man.
I have to say.
I do care about your wrestling, buddy. I watch it for
also-
you.
I had something I forgot. New set for TFT. I don't know if there's anybody that is watching that plays TFT. I play the shit out of TFT. New set just dropped. I'm doing this box boot camp thing. It's gonna be fun.
You got all the way up to like super ultra platinum not long ago. Like you ground
Yeah.
out some
Yeah.
massive TFT rank.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Bones was all over it there for a while on the Tufta.
I did not realize the new Doomsday trailer dropped. Yeah, like less than 12 hours ago.
Yep. So like I just wanted to bring that up. Like this, the
Brian's
post
gonna
I
hop out
saw
of the
was-
call so he can watch it real fast.
Big
Be right
post-
back, guys.
The post I saw was only an hour old, so that's why I figured I'd bring it up because I think that's going to be really nice to see Doomsday. I'm excited for the whole X-Men thing. So
Anything that gets me more Gambit.
he,
Yeah,
like,
actually, I think I
he was
agree.
good.
Well, and the X-Men's always been such a weird and contentious kind of issue when it comes to the MCU, right?
They've had such good movies and then such bad movies.
Yeah. Well, and they keep trying to bring them in, but it doesn't fit right. And then they try to bring in, Black Bolt just to see if they can make that work. I don't know. It's a very vague and weird situation between a lot of the comic book staples in the MCU in regards to like the X-Men and other like family style team units.
Yeah. But board games.
Board games.
Lead us off, Ryan.
Yeah, so honestly, it's board games, and so like I told you guys before, I think it's gonna be best if we kind of keep this one a little more casual than normal. And
It's
so I
'cause board
wanted
games
to,
are lame.
yeah, is that it?
It's my
Obviously,
stance.
guys, thank you, Travis. I appreciate the support, man. So I like to kind of call myself our specialist on the team for Unplugged Gaming, guys. Just generally covers tabletop RPGs and board games. I am going to start off by saying I'm playing kind of fast and loose with the pedantics when it comes to board game. I'm also going to include things like the classic card games and deck building games that
Pedantic.
strictly are not board games, but I think they're close enough. And the way that I see it, and to speak very, very broadly, I generally look at around 3 subgroupings of board game players, because I think it kind of ranges from, on one end, you have your extremely casual players, what I like to call beer and pretzel players. And these are the ones that like a very loose, rules limited kind of game. Think Cards Against Humanity, What Do You Mean? That kind of like party voting, say funny things kind of game that the longer you're drinking, the more fun the game gets.
Throw burrito.
Yeah, throw burrito, yeah. The kind of middle group that bridges the two, I think, is what I'm going to call the classics gamers. These are the ones that like board games, but they don't venture into like the unusual board games. A lot of Monopoly, Sorry, Trouble, Risk, these kind of games that nearly every household had going through the 90s and 2000s. And then lastly is kind of the niche gamers, or as I like to call myself, the expansionist gamers, because it's almost two different groups. I think the niche gamers really, these are the games that you find at like your board game shops with the unusual names and the unbelievable price tags, and sometimes are tied to other IPs. One of my favorite games that we'll talk about later in the episode, of course, is Firefly, which I still think is an amazing game, despite the fact that it's tied to the Firefly IP. I think it stands alone very, very easily. And the reason I say expansion is because for me, I'm a sucker for any game that I have to buy like 12 times, because they keep coming out with more and more stuff to put into it. So I was curious to get us started. What kind of gamers are you guys? I know me and Bones have spent quite a bit of time playing board games together, but for everybody else that doesn't know, what kind of board games do y'all enjoy, if at all?
I kind of like the more casual, like quick turnaround board games. Again, Throw Burrito. What do you mean, Cards Against Humanity? Things like that. Which is not really a board game. It's just a card game. I guess I'm a card game guy.
Fast
I'm a
and
big,
loose, yeah.
big card game guy. I like Skip-Bo. I like Uno. I
Phase
love
10.
Phase 10. I love me some Phase 10. 313 is also a fun card game if you don't have any of the like Uno or like Phase 10 card games set up.
There you go.
It's one you can play with just a regular deck of cards. My grandmother taught me, and she taught me 2 rules at a time. And the only time I learned a new rule was when something was going to be advantageous to her. She's a little competitive.
That's how you do it.
Dude, my grandma was ruthless when it came to games growing up as a kid, because we played a lot of board games at like Thanksgiving and Christmas at my grandma Gardner's house. And if you were old enough to play, you were old enough to get absolutely destroyed. She didn't care how old you were. If you were going to sit at the table and play, you were going to get absolutely crushed. I can't count the number of times that she would just wipe us out on any board game. And unless you were really good at canasta, you could not be my grandmother's canasta partner. She would get so mad at you if you made a single error. She intentionally excluded people from Christmas invites. It's not that they weren't unwelcome, but they weren't going to get a card.
Nice. I like Risk, or like the more involved board games, but you don't get to play them too often because you can't find a lot of people that want to sit down and play for a few hours
or days. Ryan,
hey, I'm just saying.
Yeah, so
God, that was a long game.
I played a few games. Like I went to HalCon here, and they had a room set up with a bunch of board games, and there was a lot. I don't remember all the names, sorry, but there was a lot of games that were very in depth, and there's a lot of thought to them. So
I can get down on like
those,
Settlers of Catan because it's like it feels more like Risk light.
Yeah, I would consider that a classic game up there with like Monopoly and that kind of stuff. So
yeah, no, so I definitely prefer those, but generally speaking, you play games like Monopoly or Sorry, because everyone could sit down and play those, and they're quick games.
Gotcha.
I play anything. I will play any fucking game. I like playing. I play Mahjong. I play dominoes, Rummy. Rummy's a game that I grew up on. Like my family played that all the time.
I'll take you at dominoes.
Bones is like, let's get down on some backgammon.
I played spades down on the mess decks in the Navy.
If you were in any type of military branch, you 100%
three white people down there. It was fun.
Yeah, dude, you gotta sling some cards with them sometimes, man.
Yeah, man, it's good. It was good. I love more complex board games, things like Scythe and Marvel Legendary card building games. Obviously, that's like my fucking favorite game. I play a lot of it whenever I can, and I have a lot of expansions.
Expansionist gaming, baby. No, I'm actually in a very similar boat to Bones. I will play almost anything. I will fully admit that I actually am the opposite of Travis in this regard. I don't really enjoy Cards Against Humanity or similar fare. In point of fact, I've been on a hunt for games that kind of bridge the gap between classic board games and that kind of style of board game into the more beer and pretzel style game. Things like Doomlings, right?
Munchkin.
Munchkin.
I will play some Munchkin. I love Munchkin.
I've lost friends to Munchkin. Munchkin can get intense.
That game. I love Munchkin.
So as far as I go, board games have always been a very, very important part of my life ever since I was old enough to read a rule book. This is actually my dad's fault, which surprises a lot of people. But my
Your
dad
dad's
was
a big board game guy.
yeah, my dad likes board games. He was using Monopoly to teach us math when we were very, very young, something I'm still appreciative of. And when we weren't playing with just us at the house, we would frequently do dominoes, things like Chicken Foot and Railroad and that kind of thing. We're
Mexican
always
Train,
at
my favorite
yeah.
Domino's game.
But every time we were at a cookout, a barbecue, pit roast, anything like that, there was always a game of dominoes going on. And so I think it really kind of spawns from that. And I was going to start off with like favorites, right? Trying to choose favorite games. It's difficult for me to choose a favorite game because I'm also with Bones. I own Legendary is a unique game to me. It's a full co-op versus board deck building game based around like superheroes.
I got to jump in since Ryan had one that was surprising. This one's going to shock Ryan since I think he's the only one in this group that knows my dad fairly well. My dad is killer at dominoes, like just regular dominoes. The man is an absolute savage. He is so good. We'll be like probably 2 or 3 dominoes in to a turn, and he'll start telling people what they're holding with like 100% confidence and accuracy. The man is absolutely devastating in that game.
See, I love hearing that. You never know who's going to have like what flavors and what tastes and that kind of stuff, right?
Crazy good.
We got some comments coming in.
Oh, there is no quick board games with Ryan.
No, I don't do quick board games. I've roped my friends into board game nights several times where they've showed up around 3:00 in the afternoon. We had a little bit of an early dinner, and then everybody's trying to leave by midnight or 1:00 in the morning. I love a good, heavy, complex game. In nearly any way. Like Bones said a minute ago, absolutely love Scythe. I think it's a fantastic resource management game. I think it tells a lot.
My ADHD is way too bad to sit through Ryan's board games. I can't do it.
I have several that are rough. I actually, on the subject of games, I want to get into some like interesting setups and mechanics, right? But I think one of the more interesting games that I own, I've still never played, and it's called Risk Legacy, and it's supposed to be somewhere between 7 and 20 days long, depending, and you get to play it one time because it's a tear stuff up, modify the board style game. And so it's one long Risk campaign. And supposedly it plays similar to like a Civ game, right? Where you play from a Stone Age all the way up to like intergalactic kind of vibe. I don't know for sure. I couldn't tell you 100%. They might have it set up where you're supposed to be able to play it in 4 hours, but I've never been able to get a team together to actually play it. But yeah, no, board games.
You can count me out right now. 20 hours for a board game. Get out.
It might be a lot simpler than that. I don't actually know.
Okay.
Yeah, past experience tells me not to trust you.
The probably the longest board game. You know what it is?
It's got to be that World War II tactics game, right?
It's the campaign for North Africa, the board game. It It takes about 62 days to play, like 1,500 hours.
Hell yeah! Nope. Oh, I'd do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, you and Bones have fun. I'm out. 62 hours. Absolutely
that's absolutely heaven.
Imagine 62
days.
No, yeah,
that's absolutely heaven. Imagine being able to take a 2-month vacation at whatever, a big ass cabin, and set that game out in the middle of the house and spend days on a tactical expansionist game. I think that'd be freaking amazing.
I'm gonna need to get back on my ADHD meds if we're gonna do any of that.
But yeah, so that kind of brings in discussion on mechanics. Now I have a whole deal set up where I want to talk about like our favorite games and the ones that stood out. But I do want to talk about interesting mechanics. And since Bones brought up Legendary already, I want to start there. So Legendary is a deck building board game, which is not groundbreaking in and of itself. What I find I love most about Legendary is the fact that it is all versus the board. It is a full co-op game. You don't need somebody DMing it. You don't need a game master. The board runs itself, and it is difficult. Under most circumstances, depending on what expansions you have in play, because certain rules I think kind of modify the difficulty quite a bit. I would say that I have lost more than I've won playing Legendary by a fair percentage.
Yeah, so it's probably like a 40-60 split for me.
Yeah, something similar.
Yeah,
I know it's an
that's one of the ones where no one has to twist my arm to get me to play on a board game. Like, I'm not gonna go pull it down off the shelf, but if I'm hanging out with either Bones or Riot and they're like, game of Legendary, I'm like, yeah, I can do a game of Legendary.
yeah. Well, and that's the good thing about Legendary is unless you get real into an interesting role on Legendary, it's not a terribly long game. I would say 2 hours is probably average, depending on how many players you have and how kind of invested in the game the table is. But I have had games of Legendary that lasted a very long time.
I like it because I don't have to dedicate as much forward thinking strategy as I do for some of the other board games you guys like to play.
It's been 25 years and counting. Roman Crow coming in with the Monopoly game. Yeah, Monopoly.
I've never wanted to fist fight family more than playing Monopoly with them because every different family has different house rules on Monopoly.
Nobody plays Monopoly right. Monopoly has interesting mechanics because everybody just makes up whatever they want, and that's why the game takes 10 days. Like, you could play the game in like 25 minutes if you just play by the rules as written.
Yeah. Nobody ever plays as written. Everyone always has like some special deal. Our family does it this way. And I was like, well, I'm going to fight your family. Like, I don't like.
Actually, out of curiosity, what are some of the Monopoly house rules that have cropped up for you guys?
You don't have to pay if nobody tells you to pay.
Oh, wow. All right.
Everybody skips the auction. You're supposed to auction if they don't buy the property. You have to auction it.
Yep. Very, very common house rule. The free parking, like Bones just brought up.
That's what makes it last forever, every freaking time. Like, somebody's like, "Oh, I'm about to lose. Oh, I just got $50,000 out of the free parking."
Out of free parking. No, that's fact. Well, so we use free parking a lot. We ended up getting into a house rule where the free parking fills up off of like all of your taxes, and anytime you have to pay something. We actually had it where there was a percentage of any time money got paid to the bank or that kind of thing, a percentage of it went into the free parking. But that's just a mechanic that keeps the game going forever. But yeah, the auction's the big one. Like, everybody skips the auction. Nobody's just like, oh, I'm not going to buy that house, so no big deal.
Yeah, when you play with the auction and no free parking, the game is so fast. Like, those two rules alone make the game go fast. Because just the auction alone, like, you go like twice around the board and every property is basically gone already, you know?
Yep. So that's another one that gets skipped a lot, actually, is the whether or not you have to circle the board before you buy. That one gets changed and shifted a lot. But in any case, yeah, so house rules. Legendary, fortunately, does not have a lot of house rules.
No.
It does not. It has a lot of rules, but it doesn't have
Yeah,
a lot of house rules.
No need to put in a house rule because they've got plenty on their own.
Well, and that's the big difference is Monopoly, you can tweak and adjust and mod the game however you kind of see fit. If Legendary, you start tweaking rules, things break pretty fast. But
Turns
I would
into
say
a game of Scion.
Yeah, but it is definitely one of the games that looks very simple for the amount of strategy and the complexity you have to have. But there's also such an element of luck involved that I think the game is best summarized as a deck building game versus the board, that you have to take advantage of what you can. I think the way that I would put Legendary together. And the reason it's one of my favorite games, and probably easily in my top 5, is the fact that it's all about communication. You don't keep secrets. You don't hide your hand. The more you can communicate with your team and talk about what you're doing and what they should do, the better you're going to do. And I love that about Legendary. And kind of like Bones, I have, I don't know, 15 expansions for it. Something like.
Most fun I've ever had playing Legendary was at Bones's bachelor party for obvious reasons.
Hell yeah.
We'll leave it at that. But that was a really good game of Legendary. Everybody had the giggles.
We're just gonna sidestep that real quick. But yeah, no, I think Legendary has brought some really interesting mechanics into play that are very simple, but nobody else really does, with how the decks are constructed and how you can construct your own deck off of the board in order to fight it. And getting something that is self-playing, I think, is really, really cool. the other mechanics I want to bring up is going to be for now. I have one example that I play with my friends as often as I can, and that's called the Dead of Winter. Now, there's a few games that use this particular mechanic, but the Dead of Winter is ultimately a resource management game about trying to make sure you have enough food, heat, personnel, blah blah blah, in order to survive an apocalyptic event. The kicker is the board itself is a very punishing board, not just spawning zombies and monsters and that kind of stuff, but also weather taking out your food, your fuel, that kind of vibe. And then they add in one key detail as far as a unique mechanic for me, and that is the traitor. Because there is a chance that somebody at that board with their character secret objective card is a traitor that is just trying to kill everybody. And the way the game plays, it makes it very, very difficult to determine if somebody is being genuine or if they're, a good guy that's trying to get an unusual personal objective achieved, or a bad guy that's trying to sabotage the entire camp and burn it to the ground. So Bones, you've got some board game experience. Do you have any other like traitor style mechanics that you've seen crop up?
I mean, well, obviously there's like all of the werewolf style.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Games. I love those. Actually, I have this game, Salem, which is like this type of game where everybody's like witches in the Salem witch hunt. And it's pretty good. So yeah, I think those are probably the most like common. Like there's a traitor role, like that's part of the game, right? I'm trying to think of something else. Bullet from.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That I don't know if it always has a traitor. I haven't played in a while, but sometimes has a traitor for sure. I can't think of really anything else off the top of my head.
Well, I would say it's definitely probably my number two when it comes to interesting board game mechanics. It doesn't get used often, but I love the idea that secretly one of the players at the table is actually an enemy working for the board or working against the team. I think is really neat. And the last one I'm going to kind of get into before we have to move on to our next topic, and Bones is the one that brought me into this, is games with unusual interaction. Now, this is going to float into that category that I talked about with Doomlings earlier. There are certain games that are easy enough to learn and play that they kind of bridge the gap between a tactical or strategic game and that beer and pretzels Cards Against Humanity laugh all night long game. Bones, you have to help me with the name. It was the Penguin Flicking game.
Oh, Ice Cool, and
Ice Cool.
I can see them right here.
I actually really liked that game.
I love Ice Cool.
Ice Cool was dope.
So yeah, Ice Cool is a board game that you set up with obstacles and tracks, and you have a penguin that you flick across the board. And if you flick it off the board, there's stuff that happens, and if you run into other people, there's stuff that happens. It is one of the most fun games I've had from a single page of rules ever.
Lon's surprisingly good at that game. I think she practices. I think she.
And it's one of those games that I think bridges well. It's kind of like Throw Burrito, where you don't expect, to have that kind of interaction with a board game.
We were having the best time playing Throw Burrito with my sister and brother-in-law, until Elena hurt herself dodging a burrito, and then we had to tone it down. She may or may not have attempted to dive behind a couch.
Well, and that was one of the games that when I tried it, I was actually really paranoid to play it, especially with some of our friends, let's face it, because you can put some heat on some of those burritos.
Yeah, but they're super squishy. Nobody's getting hurt with a burrito.
Well, and I've never seen anything like get broken, right? Nobody's knocked over a vase or busted a TV or anything. So.
More people get hurt trying to dodge the burrito than the damage from the actual burrito.
So we are kind of running out of time for the introduction, but yeah, that's a few of the unique game mechanics I wanted to bring up. Other honorable mentions from my front is going to be things like Villainous, where you and everybody else that's playing is actually playing your own independent board game, similar to Boss Monster or Dungeonville, and instead work to try to get special abilities to mess up somebody else's board game at the table. I think is a really unique one. Games like Firefly that are the big kind of board running games, I think it's pretty close to things like Risk or the expansionist board game that ruined my life forever and got me to where I'm at today, Talisman. I think
I
Talisman.
feel like Firefly to me feels like a very traditional board game in the sense that it's everyone for themselves. There's not really any like
yeah, it's not
you
teams.
can cooperate. You can do some like trading and negotiating with people, but it's really just look out for yourself, which I think as far as like a traditional board game style goes, I'm a big fan of having to cooperate and coordinate and then know when to time your backstab on some of those other games is
Oh yeah.
kind of rough.
So here's something I'm curious about. Do we all think that D&D and other games that are similar to that went to the miniatures and the maps and stuff to make them more like board games?
Ooh,
To
no,
try
no,
to
no.
expand?
No,
Something you
that's
got
not
to
a board game.
realize
That's a tabletop.
is.
I know it's
D&D,
a tabletop, but would you consider it more of a board game when you start using map and
no.
miniatures?
Here's the kicker: D&D in its original incarnation, it didn't move towards miniatures and stuff like board games. It was that way to begin with.
Yeah, it moved away from it.
It moved away from it because originally it was based off of Chainmail, which is a game similar to Warhammer, to put it very, very loosely. And so it was always based on miniatures and battle maps because originally it was a strategic game. And there's a reason it got kind of boxed into board games and marketed as board games all the way through the 80s and 90s, because it's ultimately kind of what it was. It's evolved from there significantly, but I would say early on, yeah, it was absolutely a board game, and there's still aspects about it to this day that I think are very board game-esque. I definitely consider it an unplugged game for obvious reasons, but I wouldn't hesitate to call it a board game if you're using the right stuff.
Yeah. I think you're missing one of my favorite, and Lon's favorite game has this mechanic in it, but that's the asymmetric games.
Oh, I love asymmetric games.
In particular, a game that Lon really likes called Tragedy Loopers. It is a 3v1 game where the one player, call it like the DM or whatever, is the villain, and you have a scenario, and the other three players have to work together to try and kill you. Or in this case, you have to beat a scenario, and there's like it's full of mystery, and there's like time loops. It's a very, very good game. But
yeah, asymmetric games I think are awesome. I actually have two of them that I really like. Thornwatch, which is, truth be told, I'm going to call that one more of an RPG, right? It runs more like D&D.
What's an asymmetric game?
One player versus many.
Ah, okay.
The big one that my friends and I have all played a lot is Doom, based off of the 1995 game Doom.
We have played that one.
We've played Doom a lot. And
Space
there's another
Hulk
one I have.
another board game
Space
that we
Hulk
played quite a bit for a while.
And Netrunners is an interesting one. I haven't got a chance to play it. Generally, when I play Netrunners, it's 1v1. But there is setups for that one where one player plays the big evil corporation, and then 3 or 4 other players get to play hackers trying to defeat its security system. And so, yeah, asymmetric games, I think, are definitely, we had to bring that one up for sure. So I'm going to jump ahead real quick in our lineup here. Honorable mention from Roaming Crow in the Blood on the Clock Tower. That's not one I'm familiar with. Bones, do you know Blood on the Clock Tower?
Yeah, I haven't played it, but I am familiar with it. Yes.
All right. Well, we covered some interesting mechanics and a handful of niche games. Guys, I'm going to take this opportunity before we move on to the next segment to kind of bring up to you, if you have any board games, niche games, or unusual mechanics that maybe we don't know or you'd like to bring up, please give us a comment down below. Let us know what you're thinking, what we've missed out on. There are a lot of amazing games out there. Obviously, we can't cover them all, but I want to know about them because I might have missed them, similar to Blood on the Clock Tower. And if you're feeling especially generous, give us a like, follow, or subscribe. That'd be great.
The big thing is, real quick, also, we'll play the games if you want us to. We've already played a couple games in the show.
Speaking of which, you know what my favorite game is? Survive.
Survive is one of the best games.
So that's
free plug for Survive, guys. That is a fun game, though.
We also did we did an interesting one last year.
Substratum Protocol.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. So that was a rather interesting one. Had a lot of interesting mechanics to it.
It was like RPG light.
Yeah,
fun.
so we'll definitely check out your game and play it on here if you let us know. We're always willing to do that. So,
in fact, that might have been the whole reason I got looped into doing the podcast in the beginning, is being able to talk about board games and a chance to try new ones. So
You know what? Do you know what one genre of board game that I don't think we've touched
What you got?
that I know here everyone has played? Trivia board games.
Oh yeah. No, there's a whole family of board games that are in that kind of trivia realm.
I like a
That
good
I think are
trivia
a
board
lot
game
of fun.
occasionally.
You know what? It's not exactly a trivia game, but I would put it in the same family as like Poetry for Neanderthals. I don't know if you've tried that one yet, dude. Travis, you and Elena, I'm gonna have to send you that game. Poetry for
Right,
Neanderthals
it's
is a
so hard to play a board game because the toddler goes to bed at 8 and Elena is in
Uh,
bed by 8:30. So
so
if
that's
it's not a
actually what makes this
5-minute
one.
game, like it.
That's what makes this one appealing. Is that you can involve the kids. There's no board to get knocked over or anything. And it's almost like a mix between charades and like Trivial Pursuit. And the kicker is that you, as a Neanderthal, will pick up a card and it'll have something on there, whether it's an object or a concept or whatever, right? So say it's computer or volcano. You have to describe what's on that card without using more than single syllable words and try to get them to get what it is. And that's the whole premise of the game. We've played it with the kids. We've gotten huge groups to play it together. It is a
We're
lot of
still
fun.
a little ways out for having my son play
So,
any type of game that's
yeah,
not.
naturally, but it does come with an inflatable club that you're supposed to hit people with when they use more than a single syllable word. He'll have a blast with that.
Yeah, he does it already with balloons. He goes, "I bonked you on the head." I'm like, "Thanks, man. I just got home."
Yeah, it's a pleasure to see you too. All right, guys, I do want to cover a little bit of an interesting conversational with you guys. Now, obviously, we've talked about several different board games, types of board games, and ways that you can integrate them in different levels of play. But one of the interesting things that I've found is this dichotomous or unusual point of view amongst gamers about the state of the board gaming industry and the board gaming hobby.
So many.
Yeah, and I will talk to some people here in my hometown that'll swear board games are going away. It's kind of dying. Video games dominated the industry. I don't think that's the case. I've actually seen a lot more board games come out very recently than I ever have in my entire life, and very, very good ones. Which
There
means
is an insane number of board. You can go to Target
Absolutely.
and get niche board games like that stuff. It's
absolutely.
so prevalent.
Well, you can't walk into a comic book shop anymore without seeing entire walls of just unusual
Yeah.
board games.
I think COVID actually helped the board game industry
Oh, just
I agree.
like D&D.
by a
It was
considerable
huge
amount.
thing.
Well, when it comes to things that helped the board game industry, I think COVID did a big step. But the real kicker for me is Kickstarter.
Kicker. I see what you did there. That was nice.
Yeah, definitely not accidentally clever. But yeah, no, Kickstarter has led to a rise of people being able to get their games made and produced in a way like I've never seen. It has been doing it for probably 15 years at this point. When did Kickstarter start becoming a thing, Bones?
I
I don't know.
Wow.
I have a couple Kickstarter games. So Scythe is a Kickstarter game.
Absolutely.
back.
Kickstarter game. I have actually contributed to a couple of Kickstarter games that I
Oh, wow.
thought were neat.
It's almost their anniversary, actually, April 28th of 2009.
So a considerable time. That's quite a
Happy almost birthday, Kickstarter. But yeah, no, Kickstarters, there's been some truly amazing games come out of Kickstarter. One of my absolute favorite ones, it wasn't even mine, actually, it was my previous roommate's game, but it was an Acquisitions Incorporated board game based off of Jeremy Crawford's D&D game that he runs.
The sad. Was it the sad little dinosaur or whatever game I got you for
Happy
Christmas?
Little
Yeah, the
Happy Little Dinosaurs.
Yeah, the little dinosaur game I got you and your kids.
That one
was a
awesome.
Kickstarter. I'm glad you
Yeah.
guys have enjoyed that.
Oh, we've played it several times. The
I
only
went to my
Sorry, go.
local card shop and was like, "Give me the most crazy niche board game for a family that you can think of," and he was like, "They will enjoy Happy Dinosaur." I was like, "Put it in the bag." Like, I'm ready to go.
It's amazing. The
I'm
only
glad you
complaint
like
I have about it is that it's a little too short, and that's just
That's
me,
your complaint
obviously.
about any game that's not 14 hours long, Ryan.
Oh, I love a good long board game. But yeah, I think Kickstarter really changed the entire industry around board games, allowing things to get made and get distributed in a way that we've never seen before. Scythe is actually a really good example, Bones. I'm glad you brought it up. Scythe is a game I never would have thought of, never would have second glanced at, because it would be difficult to get a hold of it, right? It's kind of like Twilight Imperium.
Give me a shakedown on what Scythe is.
So Scythe is a diesel punk, Bones.
Yeah, I call it
Yeah.
Diesel Punk.
Okay.
Diesel punk, kind of civilization game. It's got aspects similar to Risk,
Mhm.
but it's really more about resource management, I think.
Okay.
Being able, yeah, it's the games that would draw it to are also niche games, unfortunately, and so things like Pillars of Creation have very Scythe-like aspects. Yeah, Pillars of Creation is it's a completely resource management game where you take on the people that are building the like Sistine Chapel and major like landmarks.
Mhm.
But yeah, Bones, you got a deeper understanding of Scythe. How would you just describe that? Am I
mean,
kind of close here?
that's pretty good for just like a like a little top-down overview kind of thing. It's like a mixture of Risk. You have some mech armies and stuff, and it's just a little fun thing. But most of it's based around resource management.
Okay. So resource management and conquest.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right, so let's flip the script here and let's talk a little bit of negatives. I know I'm the one generally avoiding negatives, but have you ever had any board games in your life that you absolutely cannot stand?
Monopoly.
Yeah. That's fair.
The people that really like Monopoly is my negative experience with board games.
Hell yeah.
Man, if you want to talk, like, I guess.
Well, I'll jump in while you're thinking. I'm actually going to give a shout out to a friend of ours that is also major into the board gaming hobby and culture, with Big Robbie Smith. Hope you're listening to this, man. He's actually been texting me the last few days with new board games that he's picked up, I think from Kickstarter, in point of fact, that he's very, very excited about. He's actually the one that I originally got into Twilight Imperium with, which is a game for anybody interested in Twilight Imperium. I know the art is very, very pretty. It's an amazing game. You got to really want to play it.
Yeah.
But
you know, I do have one.
I think my biggest disappointment, to the point where I actively dislike the game, is a little niche game called Dread Pirate. And in Dread Pirate, you're supposed to sail around the board in your ship and like attack each other, and it's kind of a PvP pirate game. That set of rules is vague, difficult to put into play, difficult to put into practice, and people lose patience very, very quickly, myself included. That's another game that just kind of ruins friendships. And given an opportunity, I'll always avoid playing Dread Pirate.
I don't dislike this game, but I would rather not play it most of the time, and that's Munchkin.
Yeah, as somebody who owns, I think,
Yeah,
18 Munchkins.
I have several myself, and I collect them more because of the IPs that they're connected to. Like the game itself is like, eh.
My children absolutely love Munchkin.
It's a fun, casual game.
It's when you start playing Munchkin hardcore that it breaks. Like if you start putting any kind of strategic thought into Munchkin, it kind of falls apart.
That's what I think. Like if I want to play a drinking game, it's gonna be like Munchkin, because I'm not gonna think.
Yeah.
But when I play board games, and I'm like pretty competitive, right? So I'm trying to win. So like Munchkin is just not that good when you're trying to win.
Yeah, well, and when it comes to board games, I love board games that you have to really think and you have to pay attention. And I'm not a super competitive guy. I really don't mind losing. If I couldn't be a DM if I minded losing, right?
I mean, I don't mind losing. I just like to win.
Yeah. But that's why I like things like Legendary. Legendary's probably, like I said, I think it's top 5. It might be in contest for my favorite board game of all time, because you can really flex hard, get strategic, and it's just versus the board. The board doesn't care. What about you, Travis?
Dragonology.
Ooh, deep cut. Okay, I still enjoy Dragonology.
Oh, why?
Oh no, Wizardology. That's the one I play.
Dragonology is like the whole purpose is to collect sets from a dragon, but then you get cards to steal sets from other players. But in order to complete your set in Dragonology, you have to land on specific tiles. So for like 90% of the game, you're just traveling around the board waiting for one last piece, hoping you can somehow luckily land on a spot to end the game. It literally takes all the strategy out of it. Because you, at the end of the day, you're just waiting on luck. and the chances of you rolling precisely what you need are so infinitesimally small that it unnecessarily prolongs the game. It's one of those mechanics that intentionally lengthens the game.
Yeah, I used to call it trouble syndrome because nobody's good at trouble. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, so Dragonology is big on my list of games that like I won't play. I had some people in college that were big on Dragonology, and we played the dog shit out of it. And I was like, this game sucks. Like, why
Yeah.
is this always the go-to?
Yeah, you
And they
caught
were
me
like,
off
how
guard for
about
a minute.
Monopoly? And I was like, let's play Dragonology. That's fine.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty universal in a dislike of Monopoly, which is annoying because again, I think I own 7. Because
I'll play Monopoly if we follow the rules.
Yeah,
as
if
they
you
are
play
written.
if you play the rules as written, it's actually like a fun game. It's quick, 25, 30 minutes. Like, sorry.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do
What
it.
about you,
Rules
Eric?
as written.
I can't really think of any board games I really don't like or anything like that. I mean, it just depends on who I play with.
Company makes a difference.
Yeah,
That
like
is true.
that's the biggest thing for me. Like, I don't even mind Monopoly as long as you're just playing with the right people. I'm pretty competitive, so it gets a little wild. And I know we mentioned dominoes and stuff like that. That's not a good one to play.
I love dominoes.
Oh, I love
dominoes.
I love everything about it. Like, but it can get super competitive.
Yeah.
All right,
I've
so while we're getting here
thrown
towards the end of the
tables.
episode, I have 2 other things I'm going to cover, and then we'll get into the outro. So with all of us here with our different interests and expertise, what board game would you recommend to viewers if they haven't tried it? Now, I've held on to mine, being very careful not to bring it up. This is the board game I play the most with my friends here in the village, and that is going to be Red Dragon Inn. Now, Red Dragon Inn, guys, I'm going to recommend if anybody's interested in kind of a easy to learn, easy to play D&D inspired board game. This one's fantastic. Everybody at the table takes on the role of adventurers after a quest who are back at the tavern, drinking and partying and celebrating their success. And the point of the game is to be the last one standing. It is a competitive game, and it is so much fun. It is an easy one to pick up, and if you really enjoy it, has about, 1,000 expansions that you can add to the game. And so I heavily recommend that. Anybody else got one come to mind?
What's the name of the like semi-board game / card game that's like the boss fight?
Boss fight.
Yeah, it's like all the graphics on the cards are like 8-bit pixel
Boss
based.
Monster.
Boss Monster.
Yeah, Boss Monster 2 just came out in point of fact.
I like some Boss Monster for a quick casual game to get to know people, because you don't have to do like a ton of thinking. It's fun to just converse and flip cards.
Yeah. Boss Monster, for anybody that's interested, it's a competitive game, but you don't fight each other. You fight yourself. Where you take on the role of a classic 8-bit adventure game dungeon boss. And you have to construct your dungeon and lure adventurers in and kill them with your traps and monsters. And whoever kills the most adventurers wins. It is a very, very good game. One of my children's favorites.
Yeah, I do like a good game of Boss Monster for like a casual game to get to know people.
Chess.
Just going old school, huh?
I'm not kidding. Actually, I love chess. I've been playing a lot lately. But no, jokes aside, we've talked about Ice Cool. I will recommend that game to everybody. I think everybody I've ever played with loves that game. It's
absolutely
had a good time. Plenty of chuckles playing Ice Cool.
And one that we haven't mentioned that I have is Epic Spell Wars of the Battle Wizards.
Yes.
It is a silly game where you make spell. You're a wizard and you have spell battles with other wizards, and you make spells out of like 3 cards, and they are titled ridiculous things. It is just a ridiculous game.
I need to revise my statement. I don't like serious board games because I will play the crap out of the silliest games.
No, the one Bones is talking about is awesome. I mean, there's nothing like casting Volcanic Apocalyptic Rain of Rabbits. Like,
we can play when you come up, Travis.
I'm down. Like I said, the sillier
it's so
the better.
good.
Like,
it's so good. Eric, you got anything?
Unfortunately not, because I don't play a lot of niche board games usually.
Eric's like, let's play Canasta or whatever old people do. I don't
even know what Canasta is.
Oh man.
I'm like the traditional board game guy, though. Generally, like the Monopolies, the Saris, the
Backgammon.
I don't know what that is
Big
either.
Backgammon's
Backgammon
good.
guy.
I like backgammon.
I'll play it. Yeah, I played
Um,
back.
I'll play backgammon.
I played
honestly,
some
trivia
backgammon
games.
as against Romanians when I was in Afghanistan. Those dudes were devastating at that game.
You know what? Another one I'm going to bring up that's kind of a classic game. If we want to get into like the chess, right? Chess is a board game that's been around forever. Everybody knows about Go. I think Mon Cala really deserves kind of a nod here. It's a classic game, older than dirt. And it's about moving seeds from one square to the next. It's a lot of fun. If you're looking for something that you can play one-on-one, maybe with a significant other or with a kid, Mon Cala is great.
Shoots and ladders.
Another good one.
You know, there's a few of those more classic games, shoots and ladders, that kind of stuff that I absolutely love. But there's a few that people nostalgically love that I actually cannot stand playing.
Candyland.
Candyland is my example go-to in point of fact. My kids love Candyland, or at least my youngest one does at this point. My older one's a little too cool for that kind of thing anymore. But I can't stand
the
it.
Candyland runs out real fast. Life was another one that people would love
Yeah.
to play. That I was just like, this game's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
It gets old fast.
Here's a big one. How do you guys feel about the IPs with the board games? So
I'm
you know,
about it.
like Star Wars Monopoly,
love it.
or like,
Yep,
So-
I'm here for it.
do you guys collect a lot of the different ones?
I
So
do.
much.
I actually
have an Indiana Jones. The only Monopoly board I own is an Indiana Jones one, and I got it because it was Indiana Jones, which is one of my favorite IPs, and it came in the crate that they put the Ark of the Covenant
nice.
in. So that was like, and I don't think I've opened it in a decade.
Yeah,
I have the Rick and Morty Munchkin. I have the Nightmare Before Christmas Munchkin.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mhm.
I've got Lord of the Rings Risk.
Yep, same. Yeah, I have, I think, 7 different kinds of Risk. Some of them are IPs, some of them are just different kinds. I have 4 different Life games, my favorite of which is Pirate's Life, which was based off of the Dead Man's Chest Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
There's a Pirates of the Caribbean board game, isn't there?
There are
Yeah.
several, yeah.
Yeah.
I
That
actually
should have
have
been my list of least favorite board game. I remember
1,
playing one and
2,
it was not fun.
3, 4. I have 5 different IPs of Clue
yeah.
in
there's-
point of fact.
Jesus.
The only IP Clue crossover that I felt was ever any good was the Scooby Doo Clue crossover.
Hell
'cause
yeah.
it felt like like the right
Absolutely.
mix.
There's a Supernatural one. There's,
Ooh, I gotta get that. That's
s-
interesting.
same
So the one
thematically
that
the same.
the one I found that was rather interesting for an IP version of Clue that I enjoyed was actually the Harry Potter Clue. It had a board that you could change. You could spin it, and the board would reshift
Mhm.
around, and it was wild. I very much enjoyed that one. Clue's another one that nobody ever plays by the rules.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We always did when we played it.
Well, and
My
there are a
family.
few alternate versions of Clue that I think really approach the game interesting. Clue Conspiracy. It's not an IP. It's just another Clue game.
Speaking
But
of
Clue
conspiracies, I'm still certain my sister cheated at Clue when I was growing up. So Kim, if you're watching, I'm on to you.
Yeah. Well, and I tell this story all the time, so I'm going to go ahead and close out our episode with it. Obviously, Travis has brought up several times. I'm a huge Risk fan. I also very much believe in the type of Risk that you're playing because I think some of them kind of suck. But there's what you got?
We forgot one of the most frustrating board games of all time that I think everybody should play with people, and that is Scrabble.
Oh yeah. So agree on a dictionary. That's all I'm gonna say.
My uncle Kenneth, who had 2 PhDs, was devastating in that game. We had a dictionary. It was just the latest version of Webster's, and he would hand it to you and just be like, "You'll need this," and then proceed to ruin your life for the next 10 minutes.
I actually really enjoy Scrabble. I've played several different versions of it that are really
I do
good.
too. I love Scrabble. That's why I was so into Words with Friends when it came out on the phone. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it's Scrabble.
Well, I got really into Wordle during COVID, right? Like I'm sure everybody did, but it's the same.
Yeah, I was like, who didn't? That was an extremely popular game for a while.
But in any case, yeah. So I've played Risk a lot. I've played Risk with all of my siblings. I've got many hours of Risk with my dad, and many hours of Risk with my friends, because generally anytime I can talk anybody into playing it, I'll try.
Our 3-day high school battle.
Oh,
Ryan and I
yeah.
skipped school to finish
Yeah,
a
we
game
did.
of Risk.
Yeah, we did. In fact, we had one of them that I think was at Bones' dad's house that was set up for a long time too. But I digress. I was playing one with my my brother Kalen and my dad that had gone on for, I think we were 2 days in, and my sister at the time was very young. I want to say couldn't have been more than 5 or 6, and got very irritated, and came out of the back room of the house with a rubber band gun and blasted the board while screaming that aliens were attacking. And I wish I was exaggerating that story because it sounds so cliche.
This sounds like
100% happened. Yeah.
I have to make a confession to you, Ryan.
What you got?
If you and Kalen left your Risk board game unattended, I added and removed models from it.
Jesus Christ. Friendship over.
Which is why some of your guys' games lasted so long.
Wild. You know what? Actually, last anecdote, and then I'll take us out.
Sorry,
There's
I
one
just thought you
version
should know.
of Risk that I think was probably my favorite, and it had a name something like Risk 2088 or something similar. 2277, something like that.
Something like
And
that.
it was
Yeah, I
a-
know what you're talking about.
It was a sci-fi Risk, and you had the planet, but you also could do ships and battles on the moon. And me and my brother used to play the crap out of that all the time. And my father owned a motorcycle shop in Artesia, for those of you that don't know. And we used to stay at the shop all the time playing that game, a million years ago. And my dad at one point had purchased a school bus and kind of gutted it for a project. And in the interim, me and my brother were using it as kind of a clubhouse to hang out and play board games. And we had that Risk game set up inside that school bus. And then one day we came over and the school bus was gone. No idea what happened to that board game. And so whoever's out there with my Risk 2088 board game, I hope you're enjoying it.
Yeah. Send me a DM. I'd like that back.
I'd like that back. All right, guys. If you listen to us long enough, obviously you're enjoying what we're having to say. We really appreciate you being here. If you want to try to support us here at the show, there are 2 ways you can do that. Obviously, we have the merch shop set up. Our new line of merch, guys, is really top tier. I'm absolutely loving it. Hats, sweatshirts, t-shirts, coffee mugs, cups, the whole 9 yards. I'm a big fan personally of our stickers. Highly recommend those. And if you're feeling particularly generous, as I said earlier, guys, the best way you can support the channel is to give us a like and give us a follow, tell your friends about us, and most importantly, give us a comment down below so that we can hear from you about what you want to hear us talk about and things that we might have missed or gotten wrong.
Yeah, all that stuff. CrossingTheNerdverse.com.
Yeah.
Everything's there.
Everything's
we are
there.
Crossing the Nerdverse. We are wherever you get your podcasts from. I think we're pretty much everywhere at this
I think
point.
we're everywhere.
So, with that, we're gonna bring the show to a close. Don't forget to join us next week so we can see how wrong I was on all of my WrestleMania predictions.
WrestleMania.
I think you're pretty spot on.
I
There's
think
only one I disagreed with.
I played my picks pretty safe. I didn't pick anything with my heart this year, which is hard.
That's probably for the
your boy.
best.
But I digress. Find us wherever you get your podcast from, and we will catch you next time. Thanks for joining us.
And shout out to Roman Crow for joining us live here at the show. Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
See y'all.
It's nice to say goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.